to do that, we have join us a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Let me allow them to introduce themselves. Let's start with you, Barrister.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Akondo Ike. I am a lawyer. You're welcome to the program.
Prince Kevin Fineface, security and energy expert and public good advocate.
I'm Ojile Nathaniel. I'm also a lawyer and a public commentator.
Thank you very much. I'm Hamilton Ogbedi. I'm a business person. I manage intellectual property.
Interesting.
My name is Dr. Ayuba, a comedian and the president of Abuja Body of Comedians.
Interesting. And I'm sure most of us here are married. Some of us are looking for, right? And then some are looking for the second experience.
Second edition. No, retirement. Retirement by.
Okay, gentlemen, of course, we are going to play back some of the things said in the last episode by the ladies in the course of our conversation. But right now, let's take a quick break, and after that, show proper will start.
When there's a child out there not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take its pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes. If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she would call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
Okay, welcome back. This is Conversations, and of course, we are going to be talking about what men don't like about women. Of course, they've done their bit talking about that is talking about women. They've talked about what the things they don't like about men. So right now, we are also going to be responding to some of the things they said they don't like about men. But let's start with you, Barrister. If you are to say or list some items or issues that you don't like about women, for you, what would it be?
Thank you. You know, it's always, I don't know, the tongue and the teeth. They always quarrel, but they're living inside the same room. So, one of my mentors described women this way. He said, you know, the full meaning of women? I said, no. So I say, it's woe unto man. That is the full meaning of women. So, there are so many things, I won't use what we don't like, but negatively interesting about women. One, a woman would want to go north. We'll start telling you about south. If you are not clever, you just plunge south. He will start hitting you. That is not what I told you. And you'll be wondering, didn't I hear well? So, it irritates one, but with time, you start learning that once this person tells you we are going north, please, by all means, start looking southwards. So, growing up, you tell a woman, like, you say, stop there, stop it. What is it? And some of us who were timid will withdraw. After a week or two, what were you telling me that day, sir? So, it irritates, but now that we are mature, we now know that when the person is headed north, you know that she actually wants to go south. So I think this is one thing I have noticed. It is in all of them, young, old, grand, the same.
5 years.
Why Fineface? Are you going in this order?
No, because you've been looking at the barrister like...
Yeah, kind of appreciating what he was saying concerning the women. when you say what you don't like about women, there's everything I like about a woman. Everything. It's just that the absence of understanding has resulted to some disagreement. Woman is oftentimes described as, for me, as the most powerful being on earth. But unfortunately, our powerfulness is not known to her as such. For every power you don't know the importance is abuse. So the woman's key problem today or challenge is her inability to discover who she truly is and how she can help the man. So what I think I would want to see better is for the woman to understand that she plays the position of a neck in the body of a human being, and the man plays the position of the head. I've not seen any position anywhere the neck oftentimes try to struggle to be the head. When that happens, that being will be dead. So the woman, her biggest challenge is her inability to understand the place with which she play in the humanness and also in the man's life. So when she comes to that consciousness, I think we'll begin to like her the more. But if you look at a woman makes you to struggle and to look for better, standard of living, and makes you to dress better. A woman makes you to begin to pursue your goals. A woman becomes your mother, becomes your sister, your closest confidant if you're not careful.
The right woman.
The right woman, thank you. The right woman makes you, that's what I'm saying. I like what Amity said. Although even he said he's not married, but it's like he has a lot of experience,
Very experienced.
with that, which is good. So you can't take the goodness of a woman out of her. Unfortunately, there are those who haven't come to discover that goodness, and as such, since there are no middle grounds in life, either you're good or you're evil. So you can't find those ones that we can say she came from hell. So I think that's what I can say for now.
So in totality, you cannot just say that you cannot overgeneralize, because we have our individual.
See, I have a problem with overgeneralization. I listen to the women, and some of them were overgeneralizing, and in my head I'm like, she must be so experienced to be overgeneralizing. When you say men, I prefer to say some men or my man or the men I've dated are this kind of thing. But when you say men, my picture high is that this woman must be well experienced. I mean, she probably had tried most of those men. So you don't say that. So I cannot overgeneralize. My experience with a lady should not be used as a basis to classify all the women. That's stereotypical. Rather, what I should say is that some of the experiences I've had in my few years on earth, I've had fantastic women. One thing I wouldn't want to see a man, do is you hang your catapult everywhere. Yes, we come into the bedroom during the altar play, we altar call, we see even help you to remove the catapult, but don't just keep them hanging everywhere. Don't keep those things that are not too good for the eyes to see. You have your parts exposed everywhere. It's wrong. I look at the earth aspects. I don't like a woman who does not take her hygiene seriously, especially when you know that your man or the men who relate with you oftentimes want to go on their knees to take you to the other level of life experiences. You want to make sure that the environment is clean, because there are so many things that goes within that environment. In as much as you have the pleasure, you don't want anything that will come out. If you expose your food in some manner, flies will come in. And the same thing, if a woman does not take care of hygiene, she exposes a man to all sort of challenges.
This aspect, I'm sure all of us must have experienced this, while dating. And of course, sometimes it's part of the razzmatazz of dating, like you want a lady, and of course she's playing hard to get. I really, really don't fancy that.
How to get kind of things, right?
Exactly. I really don't fancy that.
That's a challenge. If the lady is easy for you to get, you think that she's one flat.
Okay. Now that's saying that men are the same. Like the thought it's the same everywhere. For me, if I want you, I don't have that mentality that for me to just conclude later that, oh, after all, I did not suffer to get you.
What do you think?
From the angle of a family law specialist, there is one area which I major. I do more of family law, disputes, family issues. So I think I have, to some extent, from my practice, the experience of what we're talking about here. I would spare that of the men, since it was discussed yesterday. From issue when couples come to us for advice, probably for divorce and the rest, you always discover something. One thing is always present in every situation, every dispute between a married couple. One, submission. The men is always a complaint on the part of the men that the women don't submit to them. Secondly, there's always this assumption on the part of the women that the man should know. That the man should know what I am feeling at a particular time without them spelling it out.
You're speaking my mind.
So it's always very difficult. This trend runs in every single family issues I've handled as a lawyer. You always find this thing, dominance, the woman does not obey me, she doesn't respect my family, my friends, she always wants it her way, dominance. These are most of the things that the men always come out to complain. And of course, sometimes it's obvious. She wants you to know what she's feeling at a particular time without saying it. The men are not ghosts. You're sitting down there, I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I can only assume. An assumption doesn't help matters.
So which means effective communication is very important.
Of course, very key.
And I think, in this of our conversation, one of the things I would also like for us to do, in as much as we're going to highlight the challenges that are out there, we also need to profile solutions. My little years of experience have taught me that a lot of the marriages that we have actually contracted today were contracted out of misinformation, either by way of trying to impress the society, the family, class status syndrome. Your friends are getting married, want to get married. There are always signs of attitude of individuals from the beginning of the relationship, but most times ignored because you thought you've invested this much and you don't want to become. I'll give an instance. I met someone I was going to get married to, and as a Christian, you pray. So I prayed this prayer. If she was going to be the one, let me meet her at so place. And I met her there. So when I met her there, for me, it was like, wow, this is God sent. So immediately I took it up, got a ring, I got the whole set of ring. Then down the road, one day, from the blues, and she started saying, and I said, look, there's no premarital sex. There's no sex before marriage. And one day she came like, a friend got married to this guy who was a pastor in court, and suddenly they are now doing prayer and fasting every now and then. So I said, look, I'm man enough. Blood flows through my spine. My sponge is stronger than any other thing you can imagine. Long short of it, she came one day, dropped the rings, and left. I never called her back to say why. There was no fight, there was no problem. But I felt that she was overwhelmed with the fact that I was that serious and couldn't believe that it was very possible. Now, why am I bringing this story? The reason I'm bringing this is sometimes we tend to bother about what people will say, and we get into relationships that are not meant for us. That will not enhance our spiritual well-being, our physical well-being, and all of that. There's actually a man meant for you.
I like to say something. I said to one, ladies who want you to be their all in all, if you ask them, I want you to be my everything, my hero, my this, my that, which is very, very possible because that is our position. Really? Yes, we have it. There is where we are supposed to provide and do a whole lot for them. Take care of them like our own child. Now, I said to her, if the hand has, if there's an injury on the hand, it sends a signal to the head. I said, the problem you're having in your relationship is because you don't cooperate and you don't communicate. You are supposed to, like he said, you're supposed to be the neck and stop trying to be the head. Communicate with me. Tell me that thing you want and stop assuming. Now, I met a lady that looked at me and said, this one will be player. Don't say that to me. You don't even know me.
Because you're that handsome.
I'm not even sure. Don't say that to me. You don't know me. Now, the problem we have with a lot of ladies, they think they know us. But you cannot really tell what a thing is until you come closer.
You can't judge it.
Ladies think they are very smart. If I give you my money, you call me and you tell me, I'm hungry. You pretend or you start acting up like you're sick or anything. If I give you my money, I'm giving it to you because I want to. It makes me look good. Not because you're smart. Not because I catch a boo-boo, according to them. So I think ladies, watch it. We are not dumb. We are not stupid.
But let's talk about something here. As men, let's be, truthful to ourselves. Do we prefer women that are really submissive to us, or women who are do we see them to be submissive or or equal partners?
I'm of the opinion that
yeah,
when a man chooses a lady he wants to marry, the first thing he wants to see that she will complement his purpose.
Yes.
That is why he chose her. There are so many people, but he decided to choose her because she will complement his purpose.
Helpmeet.
They call her a helpmeet. They didn't call her Oga to him. So when you spoke about the issue of a lady playing hard to get and everything, I'm not against them playing hard to get. But the truth is that they should not overdo it for the man to think it's a competition now for him to conquer her. Because once he conquers her, he wants to play his own game. She's now coming out with her real game, and then they are on a parallel line. So what I'm expecting that if a man sees a lady and wants her, some of the things he needs to look out for, will she complement his vision? If she's not going to complement, like I've seen men of God, whereby you are called to be a man of God, and she does not share the same vision with you. The devil will use her as an avenue of getting to you, and everything goes on bad.
Well, where's the devil?
Well, let's assume.
That's the excuse I have problem with.
Okay.
Where's the devil?
Okay. You see, like I keep telling people, in a relationship, avoid certain things that will cause problem. Men are emotionally reserved. They are not quick to open up to tell
Not
you
all
this. Most men are emotionally reserved.
Thank you.
It's not everything that as a man you see, you just talk.
Yes.
You will keep quiet. But women, anything they see, they will talk.
Not all
and
women.
sometimes men
Women
generally find problem
love-
with that.
They love inflammatory comments, inflammatory plays. They love pranks. To them, they will say, if I don't play with him, who am I going to play with?
Not all women. There are some women when you bring the play to will have a problem with. That's what we need to understand ourselves. We're talking about submission, right?
Yes.
There is no reason why there should be competition. There are some human beings, I want to use human beings now, either a man or a woman, that are assertive by their biological defaults. A woman could be assertive, does not mean she's stubborn or that she's not submissive. It is just her nature. It's unfortunate she got married to the wrong person who believed that being submissive is maybe controlling into whatever he says or accept to do and not achieving our own life's purpose. We need to begin to, that's why I kept going, we need to begin to understand who we truly are. Our biological makes us sometimes to think that we're devils or angels. This guy looks quiet. Doesn't mean that he's quiet like that. We take it for it's just a man that is disposition. But right deep that I listened to him and what he said, he actually spoke so well. Intellectual, but if you see him from a distance, you will judge him. This one that I find like this. If they follow women anyhow, that's what they will say. So we need to begin to understand submission is a necessary requirement. As I said, the neck is a woman, the head is a man. So a man who demands for submission has lost the command of his headship.
Sorry, I like to. If it will get to that point where I will now need to demand for you to be submissive, it means that you are failing.
That's what I'm saying. She
is failing.
No, once a man
failing.
once a man starts demanding for submission, he has actually lost his headship.
It is a natural
phenomenon that comes in. A woman. Let me give you this instance. You walked into, you saw a lady, you approached her. You will do any and everything possible. You show a kind of kindness. You will act like you're one Mr. Angel from anywhere. Then the moment you get her now, you want to now begin to assert yourself on this same lady. No, it's wrong. No. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you will get the respect that you deserve. You don't boss a woman around and think that that makes you superior.
But for some,
it's an ideal situation that you don't boss a woman. But what we're thinking of, she has grown up with a mentality. She has grown up with something. In an ideal situation, you are supposed to do that to boss her. But the truth is that they take advantage because they see you are in love and they feel they should operate on what they feel in their...
Now, that's not submission issue. I understand that point. So, that's not submission issue.
The issue of submission
that are not submissive.
When you talk about
lots of them.
What's submission?
So
we need to actually submission.
Exactly. For some men, and probably this is driven from African culture.
Let me
tradition.
come in. We've been discussing women from what the moderators say. What do men not like about women? Are we talking about women as a gender, or women as people of a certain age, or married women?
Beautiful.
Because when I was talking, when you look at this thing, you are now talking about this class of women that have gathered some experience about life. There are kids, daughters, relatives.
They are women.
There is a behavior that cuts across. The essence of discussing this is not necessarily for those who are on the other side of the game, who are in the second half, like some of us who are already moving. We are talking about those growing because that's where we have problem. No, if you want to check kids now, 15, 16, if you see what they do, you'll be wondering, what happened? So that is the area we should be going. Because every discussion we do here is to help the society, families to start checking what's going wrong. Now, I have a problem now with women. Women see themselves as men's rivals instead of partners. It is that rivalry.
Of course, it's all those.
Why is this so?
Let me not tell you.
Information.
Ordinarily, the certain things happen, you start wondering. You're well dressed, you want to go out, your wife will start quarreling. Look at how dressed you are. When you go out now, they will be looking at you. Instead of being happy.
Inflammatory.
That you're
commenting.
That's some women.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So
I used to have 6 packs. And I was still wondering. I was still wondering. This thing is too flat. Everybody will be looking at you.
Oh, you see.
So I started opening 1 pack.
So you see, it's the trend. So let us start seeing it that they should be made to see them as their partners, not as your competitor. Well, if I go beyond this, we start going back to our culture.
Yeah.
If you uproot a flower, you're supposed to go and plant it somewhere.
And take care of it, nurture
If you don't go plant it somewhere, you've removed it from where it is, what happens? You start drying up. We have moved out of our cultures. Westernization, we're not there. Our religion, Christianity or Islam, we're not there. We're just, that's why the society is suffering.
Well, I agree with you,
Yes,
Barista,
because this neck-head thing you are now discussing, it's given in our culture that everybody knows his position.
Gentlemen.
But now, wait, I'm coming. Now, no, in my culture, men don't enter the kitchen. A woman will say, come and help me cut pepper.
Are you a woman, Rabba?
Come and help me cut onions because that is what the society wants. And if you don't do it, they say, see, because somebody might have
sometimes
the goalkeeper cannot go and become a striker. They will come and score goal in your goal.
But like some will argue that our culture is not static.
Yeah,
it
evolves.
keeps evolving. And then sometimes, of course, you talk about too much information. Yes, of course, they come in contact with other cultures and see how things can be done better. But we are coming from a different cultural background, whereby even you as a man, if you sometimes decide to help your woman in the kitchen, you're thinking about what other people might say. That
your friends might walk in and see you.
See you. But is there something wrong with that?
No. But it also depends.
There is everything wrong with it.
I think
I
a lot.
just told you that a goalkeeper should not go and start being a striker. What are you telling me? There is everything wrong with it, because if you don't do it tomorrow, it becomes an issue.
Yes.
Play your wing. The Bible, which what has told you your position? Why are you leaving your position?
From the beginning of creation, if you mention the Bible,
That rivalry is what is causing the
but
problem.
you see, from the beginning of creation, you mentioned the Bible, the responsibility was given to Adam. And Eve came in to help it.
Yeah.
Meaning she was there to complement the responsibilities that had already been given to him. Not taking over his responsibility.
She was more like
by
an
natural
administrator.
default, the men are supposed to be doing these things, but the society had evolved, placing men to always be in the field. So the women have to take the responsibility to take care of the home front,
As
and
administrators.
ensuring that if the man comes back, he has good food to eat, water to bath, massage is given, and at the end of the day, he has an altar call to relax the brain or to recalibrate his mind. Now, if you want to know what altar call means, for those that don't know, better than that. So a man getting to the kitchen to cook. I do a master class called Romance in the Kitchen Master Class. It's basically teaching men to be able to learn how to cook one or two things to spice up the relationship. For crying out loud, what we should be thinking of first is our human nature. You cannot see your wife, went out with you to go to work together, been through all the traffic, drove, came back, and expect that she'll be so strong enough because she's wired to be so, to get in the kitchen, take care of the key stuff, and at the end of the day, prepare food. Then at night, you now come, sneak through the duvet, and touch her slightly, and she push your hand away. So you begin to grumble. The next morning, you're frowning.
Exactly.
No. Love starts in the morning, then ends at night. It is a balance that we must create. I will not subscribe to any man who wants to see himself that the kitchen is no go area for him. Learn something.
And
our friends who don't go to the kitchen, yes.
Do you know something?
But that must be understanding.
Sometimes men actually complain, or rather we complain, that we don't enjoy sex at some point, but because they are tired.
Do you know what this is?
You can't really have the best.
Women are receptors. A man generates close to 300 to 500 million sperm cells. In his scrotum, he has it there. And that is why whenever the urge comes for it, he sometimes loses his head. The moment he has an erection, he stops thinking up here. The only thing that works is down there.
I'm beginning to suspect.
We are just talking, what don't you like about
About
women?
men.
I didn't say
Let's not go there.
that
They have other good things.
at one point or that you should not
course.
foray into the woman's area. But if you start doing it, what you will see when you are not ready for it, it will become a right, kind of. You understand me?
I agree with you.
That
it
is
happened to
the
me.
problem.
No, it happened to me. I
I'm
agree
not
with
saying
you.
no, there are no
Going
hard
to
and
the
fast
kitchen
rules.
is because I want to spend
A
time
man
with
will
you.
normally feel free with the woman. The
It's
woman
because
will
I want
hold
to
her
spend
own
time with
against
you.
you.
It is because they
Okay.
lack the understanding.
Exactly.
They begin- see, I said a woman should never domesticate her husband, no matter what comes. If he's broke,
Don't make effort to domesticate your
don't
husband.
domesticate him. If he's doing it on his own volition, applaud him for it.
Good.
But don't domesticate him. Because the moment you domesticate a man, it's like getting a lion
You
in
excite
the
his
wild.
ego. Excite his ego. And
Okay,
You know,
now, gentlemen,
so-
let's
so-
just take one of the clips. This time around, they're actually talking about the toilet, the bedroom, all right? So from the kitchen, we're going to a different territory entirely. But let's just listen to that.
Have you ever wondered why a grown man with a wife and kids will go to the toilet, the lavatory, to ease himself, to do number one, to pee, right? He takes the seat up. He flips out that thing. The moment he starts peeing, he flushes the toilet. Right? The toilet does its own bit. The flushing is done before the pee is done. And so 10 liters of water is wasted. The pee is still there.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't put the seat back down. He doesn't reflush. He doesn't wash his hands. He walks away.
That's why I don't like shaking men by the way.
This man goes into the toilet, does the number two. What I mean by that is he defecates, right? He flushes it. He stands up. He sees that there's got fecal particle all there, all up in there. The toilet brush is looking at you. The liquid soap is looking at you. The sink is looking at you. You do not use the air freshener. There's water, sweetie. You do not use the air freshener to dilute the air or to freshen up the air. You do not reflush. You do not use the brush or the soap. You do not wash your hands, you walk away.
The house help will do that. Or the woman will do it.
Wait now. You do it upstairs in your own personal bathroom. You do it downstairs in the guest toilet. Come on.
So, gentlemen, I'm sure you all heard what they say as regards to our behavior when after using the toilet.
I take exception to that generalization about men. In my home, I have an 11-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter who's going to be 13 by December. There's a simple rule of thumb. Leave your toilet better than you met it.
Yeah.
So my boy understands that if he needs to pee and he brings out his penis, it has to be straight to the port. He also understands that he has to wash his hand. Now, don't just tell them what to do. I have to also show culture. There's a tendency that sometimes you just forget. Because it has happened, even just last week. I forgot. It was when I was going to remember. Because of the exigency of the time. Does not mean it's a cultural defect. But here's the thing. What the women said about men concerning toilet and all of that, I think they are very right and very correct for what they said. But there's a problem. The women have not taken the time to culture these men while they were boys, to know to do the right thing. So you see, the blame still goes back to who? The women. If your husband is having the habit of always peeing on the seats or leaving droplets, you want to find out if you are there showing some major level of enlargement around the prostrates. Because if there is prostate enlargement, it means the pee will not be shooting like you used to shoot before.
No actions.
There will be shots. So the woman want to help to find out, take him through the test, or find out maybe where it's coming from. It used to be open defecation. And marrying you was when he started using the right toilet. And he's taking his time because old habit does not die easily. It will take him a longer time for him to change. So it's a gradual, continuous process to educate him. Say, darling, sweetheart, I like the way you pee. But each time you pee on the seat, I come and it also stains me, gives me rashes. It will stick. He will learn. But when you say, you carry your tin anyhow, they do anyhow.
Like you are
every act of authority, there is always a resistance. When the woman shows that she wants to prove to the man, he will do worse things. Likewise, women also. So we need to do that.
I think on this toilet that was made, we just watch. I think it's overgeneralization. I like speaking from a practical angle. I manage property as a lawyer. There's this property I manage somewhere. So there was a period the soccer was blocked. We're here the last time we talked about the rights and duties of tenants. So I was called in one particular period as they always have a blockage of this soccer waste. And at the end of the day, I told them who was responsible to evacuating it. You'll be surprised. At the chamber, that was where it was blocked. It didn't affect the whole building in flats. But in one of those chambers, when they came to evacuate it, guess what was there? You see pampers, sanitary pads, and what have you. So, are you saying it was the men that dumped them there? Obviously, no. So it's not just a one-way thing. It doesn't lie just with the men alone. And
upbringing matters.
Upbringing.
Nature and nurture.
Yes, just like Fine Face said, upbringing. The way you approach issues determines in a very large extent how you enjoy your relationship with your spouse in the house. If you are confrontational, I bet you won't get a calm response from your man. So, don't be confrontational.
Every human being.
Yeah.
I said earlier that authority is often resisted. If we're here now, if I try to now talk to this guy because I think I'm older than him now, you will see his behavior will change. He will not show me that I call that respect any longer. One thing women need to understand is this: because they are mothers, they should also understand that the man is a king. And in that king, you have that boy. If you learn to feed the boy and respect the king, you will have your way through this. It's like the mumu button. You press it and the man starts doing things unusually. Why would a woman now say her husband brought out his stain and pee anyhow in the public? When you rub off on somebody's ego, there will be a repulsive reaction to that effect. And that's why I don't want us to get into that fight with the women. The women need to understand that for everything the men are doing today, they are to be blamed.
Okay, now somebody actually emailed after watching the episode about what women, the episode on what women don't like about men. He says, his name is Bestman. He says, I don't think it's healthy, African or morally right for women to gather on national TV discouraging wives from doing their house chores or serving their husband's food. Young women, both single and married, are watching, and I don't know the kind of message they are passing to younger generation.
Great. I just mentioned it not long ago.
And I disagree with that.
No. I just mentioned it, that it's not about those who are on the other side of the game. It is about those who are coming in.
Yes.
You understand? When I was an undergraduate, there's this lady lecturer. Half of the time for the lecture she will be abusing men. Say, I'm talking to you young girls. Don't mind men, oh. They are beasts. I'm just warning you. What do you think she's doing? You can see our discussion very healthy. You watched them. Always as if you have a rival. That is the problem. That is the problem. Men are always ready. In fact, like you say, if a woman wants you to crawl here now, you will.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need to flex muscle about it.
I've always seen the men as the general overseers of the home, and then the women as the administrators of the home.
Resident pastor.
As the administrators of the home. So when the man comes, they call her a helpmeet because they know there are deficiencies in that man. That's why they didn't give him the privilege to give birth to the children. They gave her because by default, she's supposed to be an administrator to keep the home and every other thing. But when she starts talking the way the man is talking, the man now feels she's taking his position. That's when the position comes in. So if she stays in her own comfort zone and do exactly what her role is, the man will align. Don't come and start saying, why did you do this? Why? You're already eating on his ego. Definitely reacts the way you mentioned. You definitely react.
I don't know, I'm sure almost everyone seated here must have experienced that, especially if you're married. How do you deal with men, especially married men, who like to prey on other women who are also married? Like, you know I'm married, right? Sometimes you even know my husband, and you're hitting on me. Who does that?
I think some men feel that that's the cleverest way of going about it.
That's a lot.
Okay, gentlemen, you heard what she said.
Yeah.
Married men like hitting on married women. I'm not sure that statement is right.
She's never right. She's talking from experience. She must have been approached by her husband's friends, the neighbors within the environment, and more of this people. Why would a man? I give this so. My wife was pregnant at about 7 months or so. A young man saw her, and the first thing said, what kind of man will leave a pregnant woman on the street to wait for a transport, you know? And he was ready to take care of her with the pregnancy. Men are conquerors by nature. They're like the lions. When a man tries to eat upon you as a married woman, you want to begin to ask yourself, what is that you're exuding? What are you giving out to the public? How are you presenting yourself? What encouragement are you doing? What impression are you creating? Are you making him to think that you are available? If a man approaches you and your husband is not aware that the man approaches you, the man will come back again the second time. Meaning you are giving encouragement. So when women complain that married men want to sit with them, because see, the truth is that the riskier, the sweeter when it comes to sex. There's that thing that comes that because there's high risk, you know, it's like taking dopamine or cocaine or eat any type of drug. If the woman fails to communicate with her husband about the men who are trying to eat about her, she automatically has given up room for more conversation to take place. And over time, no matter how tough a woman is, over time, she succumbs to that subtle, consistent push from a man who has a purpose to achieve that.
Let me come in. Let's not lose sight of what she's complaining. She said men do that a lot. Let us not look at what the woman did. Married men. Let's not look at what the woman did that triggered the man's hopelessness. The question is, do men do that a lot? No. So a woman, look, I said it in one forum here. A woman can, yes, misbehave. Is that a license for you to misbehave? No. Please, let's situate it. But the argument there is that men do that a lot. How many? He said, because once you say men, it then means it cuts across.
That's a generalization.
And she fails to understand that for every action, like you say, there's a reaction.
Cause and effect.
Because I don't want to talk about women like we say we are mature people. If she's saying that, I can give her statistics
of women that are pushing you.
So when you talking about statistics, so what I am saying is this: any responsible man, whether married or unmarried, I am a moralist. You must respect yourself, even in consensual relations. If somebody says no, leave me alone, leave the person. But for her to be saying men do that a lot. It cheapens man.
No, I said it was from experience.
Okay, now there's also another aspect of the fact that whatever we see, like, easily kind of entice us. Talking about women,
men are sight, women are ears.
Exactly. So let's listen to this. I mean, this is coming from Divan, actually. Women making advances on men who don't know how to say no. So let's see that. Let's hear that.
Of women who wangled their way into relationships with men simply by pop up in the man's office. You've already established that the guy is the jittery type. Alaji, it's been a while. That day after you dropped me, you didn't call me again. This man has never laid eyes on you. Instead of him to say, I'm sorry, my sister, who are you? I'm sorry, I can't. It's been a while, because he has been around so much that he doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Or probably somebody he has done something with. So he just flows with these. It's true. How is Mama? I hope she's fine. And and before you said, last time you said you would find a job for my younger sister.
She'll make a good actress, won't she?
I was going to say that. And before you know it, it's true, I forgot. Where was it again? I said I was going to. You said you drop her CV at, Oh, you are right. Just bring it tomorrow. You just had a full conversation with somebody who's never laid eyes on.
Yes. Do we get into trouble with women just because we don't know how to, we don't want to hurt the feelings or their feelings?
Yeah. Majority of the times that men have got into trouble, the lecturer in Ibadan, the case in Uganda, is because you don't want to hurt their feelings. In my little encounter with people, there was a day, a young lady, came to the office. They were looking for a space in my facility, and after they did the inspection, she called because we exchanged numbers, and she was one who came around. I said, and she said she wanted to see me. So fine, she came. She was bold to tell me that since she left, she couldn't really take my image off of her head. Now, I looked at her and I said, wow, that's so powerful to say. But unfortunately, it's not going to be possible. Is it always possible to say no? No. Because while I was in Port Harcourt, I've had similar kind of experience. A lady walked into the office, left, took the number, called me up, and we had a relationship because I couldn't say no. Circumstances, situations will always sometimes make these things happen or not make them happen. What she said about, walking to the, she was able to use the outside intonation to describe this, so it gives me a picture of what is it. Every woman is designed to be helped by a man. That's why when you're driving, you see a lady standing on the roadside, you want to pick her. Even if you don't have intention to want to do anything with her. But see a young man, even as handsome as this young man is, you will not want to pick him.
Can be very persuasive.
Again,
Very persuasive.
I watched her. I have a different view. Remember, they were discussing the things women do not like about men.
Yeah.
But was she actually disliking the discussion? Because she said, I'll bring the CV tomorrow. It then means that is an aspect of men that women like. No, but that is the truth. No, the topic is what don't you like about men? And she is now telling us invariably
No.
what they like about men. That men are always willing to yield to their antics.
No, she's saying that men are weak.
Yeah. So
That's the complaint.
why would
That's
she
the
be
complaint.
complaining about it when the thing has yielded a result? It's tomorrow.
I know.
So what is that?
I want to describe the scenario. Pardon me, barrister. There is a lady in this city who makes too much money out of what they call juju. Or
Did you say
juju?
Juju, I mean
Yes.
juju.
It's anyhow they call it.
Juju.
Yes, juju. Now, what she does, I don't know if it works, but because these people want to really get to you, women can be something else because they want to get to you. I heard those bracelets or whatever it is, the necklace and all of that, cost 100,000 naira just for one piece, and this lady sells them in thousands. And guess what? Sometimes she runs out of stock and she comes on social media to tell you, people are rushing this thing. Come and get your own. I'm even going to get more.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Those charms are meant to make men to like them more.
They to like them more. To
and who made the charms in the first
whatever
place?
it is they want them to do. Women are desperate.
Who made the charms?
Okay, there's something they call Abuja Sokoto.
Is it not men?
No, women cannot.
The
do
woman
that.
himself brought from the part of man. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
Women cannot say they don't
want to
like
get
anything
you to do
in man
anything they
because
want you to
everything
do.
is derived from man.
there's something.
Introducing
There's
charms.
something women should also know,
And
which
you
is
say,
that
men are
There's something which you also know, which is
gullible,
that
easily gullible.
some women use charms on men. But see, for charms to be effective, when the man begins to see the need to do something, then the charms can work. But if he doesn't see the need to do something, the charms won't work.
Well, the purpose of our conversation here is to make our homes better. We can't take that away from this. And then, of course, we are rounding up right now, but let's start with you, Dr. Ayuba, as we part from this conversation. So what would be your advice, based on the things we've discussed so far? Very briefly.
Well, in every relationship, the first thing that comes in is understanding. Every relationship, the first thing that comes in is understanding. All of us have our own individual values from where we were brought up. I happen to come from the north. If I get married to somebody from the east, definitely I have to take time, be patient enough to understand the values that person is coming up with. Maybe she was raised to be bold enough to say this and everything. Then I now want to understand, is it that she's doing it out of disrespect, or that's her nature, or a way of explaining things to me? Everybody has their own style of explaining. Somebody can say, give me water. To you, I could feel it's aggressive. But when somebody will say, please give me water, it's a different thing. But all I want is that there should be a great understanding between couples.
Interesting.
But they have to be patient enough for the understanding to work.
Okay. Hamilton?
Thank you so much. I said to one, if I'm to present this to you and I just carry the plate, or rather the biscuit, sorry, and say, and the way it is, I decide to put this thing here with a tray and of course well decorated, presented, and sir, which one would you rather go for? Is the second person that took out time to prepare this meal and present it before you? Ladies, we don't have issues. I think what you need to do is find a way to talk to your man. Like he mentioned just now, you want to tell me, how are you? Your tone matters a lot. Your tone matters a lot. I was asking a lady not quite long please, how can I get to NTA? She said something, speak out now. I automatically, why she said that, she started laughing, but I was offended. Like, you're just knowing me. I just asked you a question. If you did not hear me, you can ask me, sorry, please come again.
What did you say?
You understand?
Yeah.
Or what did you say? Sorry. You know, the way you present your product will matter how it is received. If I'm in a relationship with you, try and make the place conducive for me. Don't turn it into thank you, or we are fighting a civil war or something. Make it conducive. If you see me, if I'm coming from work, you see I'm tired, attend to my need and don't start telling me what Mama Rosie did to you. First, you can bring it up later. I will listen to you. Like I was telling my Oga here, I don't want to call him by his nickname. Okay, fine face, okay. Like I was telling him just now, cooking is not a problem for me. I'm the only son in my house, so I was taught to do a whole lot of chores by myself. So if I'm spending time in the kitchen with you, it's because I want to spend time with you. Does not mean that is my job. Nobody gave me that job.
Just like what Fine Face said, don't make effort to domesticate me.
Thank you.
For me, I think I will subscribe to what Dr. Iba said. Understanding is key. One in every. We are not in a competition. Nobody is winning the cup at the end of the day. We're in the relationship, not even for our sake, but for the younger ones that we're raising. So it's key. Understanding is key. Then be contented with what you have. I will state a scenario here. I once had some couple that came to me, and what was the issue? The man said after their marriage, I think shortly after their marriage, he said he doesn't want the friends of the lady who are single to still reach out to her while she is married. And I said, why? Why would you do such a thing? He said, these ladies who are friends who are still single. They tend to influence her even while she's married. That there's a time one came, he wasn't, I think he was in the bedroom, but he overheard their conversation that she got money from some of her boyfriends who gave her, which she used, which she used to get, I think, the latest phone or so. And the next moment, that evening, it was hell of a quarrel in the house. She also said, told the husband that this was the kind of phone she want to get. So you be contented with what you have. We're not in the competition. Yes.
Quickly, Kelvin.
Well, for me, I think what I would say is that we need to understand and start teaching these ones coming in that for every man there is a boy you must feed, and there is a king you must respect. And for every girl, there is a girl, for every woman, there is a girl you must play with and a woman you must adore. Because the queenship of a woman is dependent on the kingship that is existing. If there is no king, there is no queen that can actually exist on her own. You know, except not the one in Britain. You will know what happened. For that, and the other thing I also want to say is that this stereotype of classifying men should stop forthwith. Your experience does not connote the generality of experience of other people. Men are men in their uniqueness, and they are the head. Women are women in their uniqueness as the neck. We should learn to begin to understand our personality, which is what I call the biological mix. There's no denying the fact that the nature and nurture, posturing affects every human being. The environment you grew up from, the kind of parents that you have, affects your appetite later in the life.
Like we've been saying, I said it's a partnership. And I mentioned the tongue and the teeth living in the same. It's not as if there shouldn't be all these frictions here and there, but stop seeing the other gender as your opponent, where you can rough tackle your opponent, and if you succeed, it succeeds. So once there is that feeling of partnership, and it takes me to what I said, go back to the roots, whether it is your culture, tradition, or whatever you believe in. You understand? There are principles there put down. If you follow it, there will be no problem.
Well, follow the principles and definitely there will not be any problem. And something tells me that there's going to be a part 3 of this conversation between the head and the neck. because it's going to be really interesting to have women and men seated to talk about the things they don't like about men and what men don't like about women. Trust me, it's going to be an interesting conversation. Of course, we are doing all of this in order to make a better society. So this is what we can, take on the program today. Of course, let's look forward to another conversations. Bye for now.